This is Sports Talk with Steve Jones, a Seven Mountains Media production, and this is a special day. Yet again, we have another Steve's story. Steve, what story we got today?
World Series.
World Series. Which one in specific?
2004.
2004. Let's hear it.
All right, so the American League Championship Series in 2004 is being played. The Red Sox are down 2-0. My longtime friend, Patrick Scholl, and Patrick has since passed away. We would go to a ball game every year. We'd go down to Philadelphia, see the Phillies, or we'd go and see the Pirates. The year, for example, where Mark McGwire hit the 70 home runs, we went down to Pittsburgh and we saw him hit number 52. We went to a ball game. Penn State was playing Minnesota in a night game. The Twins were playing Cleveland in the afternoon, so we walked over and went to that game together. So we were going to games together, seeing as many ballparks as possible. Well, now the Red Sox make the World Series. I'm sorry, the Red Sox are in the American League Championship Series. They are down 2-0. And he comes up to me on that Saturday and says, hey, by the way, it was after a Penn State football game. He says, hey, by the way, do you want to go to the World Series? He says, I can get us tickets, like freebies. Like, really? I said, yeah, I'm in. He said, well, what game can you go to? And I said, well, based on the schedule, the only game I really can go to is Game 2 because it's a Sunday night game. He says, great. He says, we're in. Okay. So I go home that night, and the Yankees promptly beat the Red Sox 19-8. Okay. Down 3-0. I was like, well, it was a nice dream. Okay. Then, of course, we all know what happened after that. Ortiz hits, Dave Roberts steals the base after the Millar walk, scores on the base hit by Bill Miller. Ortiz wins it with a home run in the 14th. Next night, Ortiz wins it with a base hit in the 14th. They go to New York, and Schilling pitches great. First bloody sock game. They win it. They get to Game 7. Well, Game 7, I know the Red Sox are going to win. In fact, I missed the first few innings of the Game 7 because I had a speaking engagement in Lewistown that night. In fact, it was a basketball one. It was with Ed DeChellis and Rini Portland, and it was part of the basketball caravan I had to go. So I listened to the game, but I knew that's maybe the only time in my life where I knew that in a big game the Red Sox were going to win. I was like, there's no way they're going to lose tonight. And Damon homered and Ortiz. So now we get to the weekend. Okay. So I have to do a Penn State football game first with Iowa on a Saturday. And then Patrick and I are going to go to Fenway the next morning. This is the game where Iowa wins 6-4. Penn State got a safety to take a 2-0 lead. Then Iowa kicked a field goal to make it 3-2. They got another field goal to make it 6-2. And then deliberately took a safety late to make it 6-4 because they didn't think Penn State could drive the ball and get into position for Robbie Gould to kick, which it turned out was the right decision by Kirk Ferentz. 6-4. Okay. So now, the next morning, 9:30, I go over, pick them up. Right? We take off. We go to Boston. Get to Boston about 5 o'clock in the evening. Yeah, doing great. Misty, 47-degree night. So I'm wearing layers. And the last layer I have on is a Penn State coat, a winter coat. It's 47. I mean, it's not going anywhere here. Right? And we're 5 rows off the field at the pesky pole in right field. We have great seats. Not good seats. We have great seats. This is phenomenal. Schilling's going to pitch. Well, because it was a little misty, the usher, doing his job, wipes off the seats. And he looks up at my coat and he says, 6-4, my God, that game was awful. I went, what? He says, that game yesterday was terrible. I said, in typical broadcast style, I look at it and go, well, it didn't go well. And Patrick says, well, imagine announcing it. And he says, who did that? He goes, he did. He goes, oh, I'm so sorry. I looked at him. I said, "It's okay. Don't worry. I got paid." So now we're sitting at the game. After this guy sets the tone for the whole night, and there's a heckler like 2 rows behind us. Now, when I mean a heckler, I do not mean this guy is nasty at all. This guy did not swear the entire night. Larry Walker, who eventually ends up in the Baseball Hall of Fame, is playing right field for the Cardinals. The Cardinals had picked him up in a deal with the Rockies at the trade deadline. And as we all know, Walker can flat out hit. So every guy's coming to the plate. "Walker, you're too shallow. Walker, you're not playing deep enough. Walker, you're too close to the whole game. He says, you got to go more toward right center." Right, the whole game. So Schilling in the pregame hardly throws any pitches. He's out there stretching. And then, the sock's all bloody, the whole thing. He walks up, gets to the top of the infield, raises his glove. The whole place goes crazy. And Schilling pitches a brilliant game. The Red Sox are going to win the thing, right? And finally, in the 8th inning, as you know, the Cardinals wear the red shoes. And this guy yells out, he goes, "Walker, it's the 8th inning. For God's sakes, turn the shoes off." And even Walker gets down. He had his glove on his knees, and and he just starts laughing. Even he laughed. And I thought, this is quite a night. The Red Sox won the game 6-2. So, yeah, that's the World Series story.
That's the World Series story.
Yeah.
Hey, Walker. I can hear it in the accent.
Hey, Walker.
Hey, Walker, turn them off.
For God's sakes, turn the shoes off.
When he turns the shoes off, we will turn off Sports Talk with Steve Jones.